Hey everybody, Dunskill here. Hope you're having a good day. Today I'm sitting in Amp City after having gone and done a thing this week. In this video, we're going to talk about amps versus guitars. Why would you want one or the other more? Who needs amps anyways? Stick around and let's riff on the subject. I was inspired to do this video after acquiring a Mesa Mark V 25 and a 2x12 cabinet this week and selling some guitars. After getting this amp, I made some discoveries, and I was talking to my brother about selling this orange amp here after getting this thing. We had a great conversation about the practicality and financial concerns of getting this amp, and having an orange around might be a little bit redundant maybe. This video was also inspired by two different YouTubers whose content I greatly enjoy. One is Josh Smith, who's an amazing guitar player. You should check him out and his interviews. In a lot of them, he asks the question on whether you'd rather have a nice guitar versus a nice amp. So I think that's a great question Josh has. And for me, I'd much rather have a decent amp and an inferior guitar. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. The other inspiration from YouTube I got and whose content I really enjoy is 5 Watt World and their whole ethos of doing more with less gear. 5 Watt World's a great channel. It's really thought-provoking and has a lot of interesting content. I highly suggest you guys check that out. Really gets you thinking about things like minimalism and how many amps or guitars or, equipment in general that you need. So really, who needs more amps? Dunskill does. Everyone's needs are different, but for me right now, having more amps and less guitars is working. For me personally, I happen to get a bigger tonal shift based on using different amps versus different guitars. In this clip, I'm going to compare two different Les Pauls, my standard and my custom. So yeah, I'm thinking like two different Les Pauls, both have humbuckers, and I'm going to throw in a wild card in there as well. But what I'm looking for is, a bigger difference between the amps and the guitars, right? At least that's what I'm thinking. Let me know what you guys think. A couple caveats in this clip. I'm just using camera audio right now. The amps are set using very similar EQ settings and volume settings as well. The two amps I'm using are my Suhr Badger 35 and my Boogie California Tweed, which is behind me. But this isn't a scientific test anyway. With modelers becoming super popular for guitarists who mostly play at home, I'm kind of going the opposite direction due to my upcoming gigging and recording needs. I love having real amps around as options. Messing around with wet, dry, and stereo rigs is just glorious. So yeah, I really like tooling around with having a couple different amps. It's like super fun. So I'm going to try and run the same guitar and the same pedal through a bunch of different amps. The way I'm doing that is with this ABY box here. Check this out, and hopefully you can see some of the differences between running two different amps and how the pedals work. It's awesome. Okay, so for you audio ninjas out there, I'm just running the audio basically through my GoPro Hero 9. I'm playing my Explorer with the pickup selector in the middle position. I'm using the Orange Custom Shop 50 and the Boogie Mark 5 25. I'm just going to switch between the two amps with some clean tones to start. This is just for gits and shiggles. Did I say that right? This is just for gits and shiggles. Gits and shiggles. Don't use bad language, kids. And for pedals, I'm going to use the MXR Timmy along with some reverb from my Source Audio Collider. I have to wait for that.
Yep.
Yeah, they really sound different, but I like them both. And now, trying to do the best of both worlds, I'm going to play both the Orange and the Boogie together at the same time. Now, hopefully you notice maybe some sort of difference between the tone and the response that I got from using the two different amps. You might have a preference, but to my ears, they both sounded good. Both were usable tones. Which one would you pick? Acquiring gear is something that I've talked about in my channel previously. When it comes to getting amps, I have to ask myself, is this the point of no return? Instead of guitars, am I just going to be pursuing amplifiers? The reality for me is that I can't keep accumulating amplifiers, mostly because of space. And it's just something that I'm not really into. I have most of my food groups covered with the amps that I have. So similar to guitars, I don't really need to acquire any more. I just need to use what I have a lot more. So just like with getting into amplifiers, getting into cabinets is another rabbit hole. In my experience and research, cabinets can really change the situation for you too. I have a couple of 1x12s here and some 2x12s, but I also have a combo amp. And there's a 1x10. If I really need a different solution for a cabinet or something different, I tend to rely on my aux. It's got a lot of options as far as cabinets in there. And what about modelers, Densko? For Pete's sake, man, join the 21st century. Well, I gotta say that modelers and simulation software and the associated equipment are really great. As you've seen from my cabinet simulation, I use an aux and I love it. I also have had an HX Effects for modeling effects. I'm absolutely not averse to any of the new technologies that are out there, and they work really great for some folks. Yeah, I'll go on record sitting here among my buzzing amps and say that Kempers are cool, Helixes are cool. I haven't used any of that stuff, to be honest. I got no problem with it. Yeah, rock on. For me personally, there is no replacement for displacement, and I just prefer the sound of real amps and cabs live. It's just a feel and response thing that I'm connected to for some reason. Something about the feel of the moving air and actual physics happening is something that really appeals to me. And I don't want to minimize the impact of guitars because, as you've seen, I have a bunch and I love the diversity and different tonal options you get from different types of instruments. However, in my particular journey, I've gone down 3 instruments recently. I've pared it down to about 10 electrics. Could more of them go? Who knows? That's probably part of the journey that I haven't gotten to yet. At least at this point, it feels like I've gotten to the minimum number of axes that I need. So I'd really love to hear what particular point you're at in your journey. Are you hunting for more guitars or more amps, or are you shedding either one of them? What kind of gear are you looking for and why? Is it for gigging, home use? We didn't even talk about pedals because that's a whole other world. People say I'm deadpan. Not goofy enough. If you're new to the channel, I'd really appreciate if you liked and subscribed. This is Denskill signing out. Hope you have a great day. Stay tuned for more awesome content.